Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO 44 coming at you another video. All right, so the score was 129 to 124. Double overtime is what it took for the Lakers to get the victory in Milwaukee. What a second half. What an overtime. What individual performances we had there. Unbelievable basketball game overall. The first half for the Lakers was tough. Started off with the hot hand Milwaukee Bucks going crazy, jumping out on top of us. We could only score 6 points through 5 minutes to go in the first quarter, but man, I tell you, we were down by 19 in the fourth quarter, and then we just started rushing back. D'Lo Russell had a bad first half, but in the second half, started the half with 3 threes to get us back into it. And from there, we just fought. Some of the calls that we had down the stretch were a little tough against us. I feel like the Milwaukee Bucks probably feel the same way, but ultimately we had a March Madness playoff-like game tonight between these two opponents without LeBron James on the floor. The Bucks were perfectly healthy, and we came in here and won the season series against the Bucks in spectacular fashion. Two of the best games you'll see all season long were between the Lakers and the Bucks this year. Individual performances were spectacular, man. 36 points, 24 rebounds, 4 blocks, 2 steals for Anthony Davis. 29 points, 14 rebounds, 10 assists for Austin Reeves. 16 points, 14 rebounds from Rui Hachimura. 29 points from D'Lo Russell. I think he also had a bunch of assists and rebounds. Spectacular stuff, man. Spectacular stuff. Spencer Dinwiddie hit some massive free throws and a gutsy three in the end of regulation to tie the game up in spectacular fashion. Big shots were hit after big shots, and it was I don't even know, man. I'm trying to wrap my mind around what I just saw. It was probably one of the most nerve-wracking games in recent memory. We've had many of those this year. I'm not going to even pretend like we haven't had some spectacular games, but you could just add this one to it. The Golden State game, the Boston game, and now both Milwaukee games can be considered. These games were spectacular, man. No Bron, no problem. We're beating some of the best teams in the league without him, man. What can I say? We just are. This one wasn't as pretty to start, but we found a way to get the victory, man. And I'm just, I was really into this one, man. I was into this one for a million reasons, including the fact that I did not like the fact that it started so early. But ultimately, the guys made up for it, man. I didn't get a chance to do my normal routine, didn't get a chance to do all the stuff I like to do today because I wanted to make it home for this game. And they made it worth it, and I want to thank the team for doing that for me personally because, man, through one half, I was really dejected, really upset, and really wishing I wasn't where I was. But the second half changed all of that, man. Starting with D'Lo Russell getting his act together. The Lakers were 1 for 13 from behind the arc in the first half, and ended up getting hot in the second half and in overtime. And I want to give credit to Rui Hachimura in overtime. His rebounding, some of the shots he was taking, we could not have won without how he played. And he was the person that I called out in the pregame video saying that with Bron not being out there, we needed him to have a big game. I was saying he needed to score, but rebound is where he really made up for it. Offensive rebounds, key putbacks, just spectacular stuff, man. We really saw big plays from just about everybody who played tonight, man. It really did. Even Taurean Prince, even though the stats don't tell the story, he did a few good things down there that really helped the team when we needed it the most. Yeah, we had some hiccups down there with turnovers, and I think we ultimately had 17 turnovers on the night. As we said, that first half was not pretty, but it was a gutsy performance. And I really love how we executed down the stretch of each overtime. We said that that's really where we can see improvement in this team in regards to how we've played down the stretch of games, close games. And this has been a good overtime team this year as well. We are now 4-1 in overtime games, one of the best in the league at that this year. And we seem like we had more gas in the tank in the second overtime. Even Reggie Miller said it. It looked like the Bucks were spent, and we were still able to keep fresh legs on the floor. You got to give Darvin credit for how he rotated players in overtime. Putting Rui Hachimura out there in the second overtime was spectacular in the way that we played keeping fresh legs out there. I think it was in the beginning of the first overtime. We ended the regulation without Rui, but we started overtime with Rui, and he just made some huge plays throughout the course of both overtimes. D'Lo Russell was fantastic, hitting threes, hitting big free throws. And that's where I really think we also won the game, just like we did against the Pacers. We won it tonight. Our team shot over 90% from the free throw line, hitting over 30 free throws on the night. Just spectacular stuff, man. Ice cold. Heart shown, man. Heart shown. You know, I was frustrated with AD in the first half. I thought he was getting pushed around a little bit by Anthony Davis, but he made some key blocks down the stretch of the overtime, first overtime and the regulation. The blocking Dame Lillard, who thought he could lay the ball up over AD. I don't know why he thought it was going to work that way, but it didn't. He blocked him both times, and it led to some fantastic plays, man. I don't even know how to sum up what I just saw. It was so many big plays made on both sides. Guys hitting big shots, guys missing big shots. Beasley had so many opportunities to shoot us down in the second overtime. He missed most of his threes in that overtime. Dame Lillard was very cold from behind the arc. I think he was like 3 of 14 on the night or something like that. Definitely not his greatest three-point shooting night, but he did hit a lot of mid-range jumpers. Giannis had a bunch of stats. I don't even remember what Giannis had, but he did have 7 turnovers, and I'm glad for that because they definitely helped us a lot with him doing that. Both teams had 50-50 in regards to points in the paint, 50 points apiece. I don't even know, man. I don't even know. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm so relieved and hyped about this game. So many different thoughts, and none of them are coming to mind right now. I just am so very pleased that we won this game, man. That's what it really comes down to. Austin Reeves, and I said it at the end of regulation. I was like, look, you need to take over this game. That's what I said to myself. We were down by, 3 with like 50 seconds to go. I'm like, bro, you need to be the one. You're the one. You're the one that's going to take over. You're the one that's going to hit some big shots now. It's your game to take over. And sure enough, he hit some big threes, and I know that he wants that one back at the end of regulation that he had missed, that it rimmed out. But he ended up making up for it later on with a gutsy 3-point shot that put us up in double overtime with like 30 seconds to go. That was pretty much the game-sealing 3 right there. And I just love what I saw from him, you know, dribbling and splitting the defense and going straight down the middle on 2 key plays down the end of regulation. That got us closer. We were down by as much as 10 points with like 2 minutes to go, and we were continuing to fight, hit free throws, get key stops. The Bucks went cold down the stretch of regulation, and we were able to take advantage of that. I mean, just spectacular stuff. Down by 10 with like 2 minutes to go, you guys. That game was pretty much all but over, but the Bucks did not, as I always say, use clock management discipline and principles that the great Kobe Bryant used to display all the time back in the day. He would have iced that game if he played for the Bucks because he would have known how to use the clock. But they were shooting early in the shot clock, up by a lot, and took for granted our ability to get back in the basketball game. We out-rebounded them by about 9 boards. And we were ultimately the better team tonight. Somehow we were the better team tonight. And you just got to give the Lakers credit on both sides, man. We got key defensive stops. We hit all of the free throws necessary to ice the game. We threw our body around. Guys were taking charges, getting fouled. Some of the calls did not go our way, as we said. Some of them were questionable in some very demonstrative ways. And if they would have cost us the win, we would be talking about them right now, but they didn't. And I really, really am happy, man. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm about as happy right now as I've been at the end of any basketball game all year long. Seriously, this one might even top the Golden State one for me. It just might, given just how spectacular it was and how LeBron wasn't out there, and then the need for us to continue to try to win games, and this being the most difficult one on the road trip. Bron sitting out as this being a scheduled loss for our roster, and we still found a way to come together and get the victory. And just the way that we went about it, just the never say die attitude, guys giving it their all, no matter how many overtimes necessary, key defensive blocks by Anthony Davis, key offensive rebounds, key free throws hit, key 3-point shots hit, so much heart shown. I don't think I've seen this much heart from this Laker team all year long, man. Really. This is the most heart I think I've seen them show all year long. And the confidence was high, and we knew we could execute down the stretch of this game. We just knew that we had what it takes. You know, Spencer Dinwiddie brings a different element to this team. You're going to live and die with some of the stuff that he does. And some of the stuff that he does drives you crazy. Like the three-point shot that he hit that ultimately put us up by 3 near the end of regulation. He dribbled straight into it, and you're screaming, no, don't do that. And he hits it, and you're happy. You know what I mean? It's that kind of thing. You hit the 2 free throws that come to mind. It's just, it's a certain reckless confidence that comes with him. It's almost like having another D'Lo out there in a way. You know, he dribbles into the paint and forces a pass to AD. It doesn't go, but it goes off of Middleton's foot. Like, those are the type of plays that you don't have out there without him on this team. You know what I mean? And granted, it went a certain way, but what he does, he puts so much frantic pressure on the defense to react to him. And as a result, you have opportunities. So I just love that dynamic, man. It's a certain fearlessness, a certain arrogance, so to speak, that comes from having Spencer on this team. And he brings a certain ingredient that I think makes all the difference when you're trying to defeat some of the teams that ultimately we need to overcome. I love what he could potentially bring to a one and done type situation. So this game gives me confidence that we can win some games, man. This game gives me confidence that we can beat some teams. And this is what I was hoping to see. Is my team show up against a Bucks team, Bron or not, and just intend to win regardless of what it looks like. You know, never quit. Because if we would have quit with 10 minutes left to go and emptied our bench and let it go, we obviously don't have a chance to win the game. But because we didn't give up, because we kept that attitude, because guys took it upon themselves to hold one another accountable and from there do their part. Even when the Bucks were hitting back, breaking shots, making plays, getting leads, we were still dribbling into the defense, drawing fouls. I think of a play that D'Lo made where we were down 2 and he dribbled and was fouled and got the free throws available to our team and hit them both. It was just the type of stuff that helps you understand that this team is starting to understand its abilities down the stretch of basketball games. When you're talking about trying to go up against a Denver Nuggets team, those are the type of plays that you need to be able to execute against them. That's the type of resolve you need to be able to have in order to withstand their nearly immaculate ability to hit shots down the final 3 minutes of basketball games. And tonight, we showed how we want to approach a game against the Nuggets. And, you know, the way that the Milwaukee Bucks were moving the ball around and finding the open jumper and getting to the line and various different things. And we didn't let those moments that could have won the game for them in a lot of situations keep us from continuing to respond. And that's the type of resilience that you can live with, win or lose, when you show it. And a lot of times you're going to win when you do. So that's what this game meant to me. It showed that my team has some of resilience that they can tap into when they really are intentional on doing so. And I just think it must be said that Austin Reaves, with the triple-double and the big threes and the big plays all over the court, including defensive plays that he made where he was blocking shots and drawing fouls charges and things of that nature, him snapping out of his season-long slump at this moment of the year, coupled with the insertion of Dinwiddie, coupled with D'Lo snapping out of his season-long, you know, well, he's been hot lately, but snapping out of the funk that he was in midway through the season. You're seeing this team start to click at the right time. And as I said, also, we've been winning games in very different ways. We've won 3 straight games, and all of them have been drastically different from one another. You had the Indy game where we went for 150. You had the Pacer game where we went for 101. And ultimately had to fight through poor offensive performances and just a tough defensive-minded game that really didn't provide a whole lot of offense to it. And then you have a game like this. It goes into double overtime where you have to show a certain resilience just to stay in the game, let alone win it. I mean, we've won 3 very, very different basketball games in a row against 3 different types of Eastern Conference opponents. But this one is against a Bucks team that's a contender, second overall seed in the Eastern Conference, a team that's on a several game winning streak, a very good home team. Like, we took care of them this year. You know what I mean? Giannis out there, yeah, had a good game too. Dame out there, he had opportunities to win the game. And we got the stops necessary against him in this one, just like we got the stop necessary against him in the last one. And that confidence is something I'm going to be very proud of going forward. And as I said on IG tonight, win or lose, this was a hell of a show for the Los Angeles Lakers. I said that at the beginning of the overtime. Win or lose, this was a game that you're going to be proud of. We've had a lot of games where we were not proud. We've had a lot of times when we talked about this team in a negative way. We've had many rants all season long, but I don't think I've seen a more impressive win other than the Boston Celtics win than this one. And I could argue this one is just as important and impressive because Boston really played poorly in that game. I don't think Milwaukee played especially poorly tonight. Giannis had an amazing game with the exception of those turnovers. Dame didn't shoot well, but he found a way to get his numbers. So I don't think you can say the Bucks played as bad as the Celtics played in that game. And given the fact that Anthony Davis was out there fighting through injury, he had some type of leg pain going on out there. He still managed to make all the big plays, hit the corner, hit the free throws, hit 3 threes tonight. Got steals, 4 blocks, including several that ultimately saved the game for us at the end of regulation and overtime. I mean, you just cannot put a price tag on what this team put together against the Bucks. No pun intended. You can't put a price tag on that. And I don't know who to give the game ball to. Obviously, Anthony Davis's stats tell you it should go to him with over 30 points and over 21 rebounds and 4 blocks, 2 steals. I mean, it's numbers just legendary tonight. But a part of me feels like the game ball could go to 2 other people too. D'Angelo Russell for getting us back into the game and ultimately icing it with his free throws and the threes that he hit at the beginning of the third quarter, which we can't even get back in the basketball game if he doesn't jumpstart that offense. We don't even get back in the game. And then, of course, Austin Reeves, who I thought was the hero tonight in a lot of ways, getting us back into the basketball game, hitting some key shots down the stretch. As I said, rebounds, assists all over the place. I mean, 14 boards for Austin Reeves. I mean, that's nuts, man. Triple-double for Austin. All the threes that he hit. I mean, I don't know if I can get a game ball to any one person. This was a game ball that you want to split into like 4 different ways. And Rui Hachimura's contributions to overtime, 14 boards. I mean, come on, man. Come on. I don't know what to say. This is probably my most proud moment of my Los Angeles Laker year. And it ain't like I'm not cognizant of everything I've said about this team or everything that they've shown me that ain't good. And I don't know that they can win much, I don't know if they may still end up fizzling out and frustrate us in the end. But a game like tonight, you just isolate it and you just say, they showed you that they're capable of winning. They showed you they're capable of showing heart. They showed you they're capable of stepping up when the big dog is out. And they can fight through fatigue. They can fight through adversity of many kinds. They can fight through bad calls that are going against them. And they can show up and show out and hit the big free throws when necessary, for which we've done 2 games in a row. So I don't think I've been more proud. This is the most proud basketball game of our season. You could beat the Celtics without AD and Bron, which is amazing. But they played like crap. You could beat the Golden State Warriors in a legendary showdown between Bron and Steph Curry. That's fantastic too. But D'Lo can have an individual performance of 44 points. And that was spectacular. We loved that against the Bucks earlier this past week. But this one was a full team effort. This one took 2 overtimes to win. This one you had ample opportunities to fold and give in and quit or lose confidence or slump your shoulders. This team didn't do any of that. The body language was high all the way throughout. for as poorly as we started the game, we could have folded and this could have been a 30-point loss. And they just didn't quit. They didn't lose faith in one another. They kept their confidence. Individual performances was fantastic. Collective performances were fantastic. We met team goals in out rebounding this team. We overcame our own mistakes and turnovers. This is just the most proud moment for our team. I think they should be about as proud of this game as probably any game they've played all season. I really believe that. I genuinely believe that. So that's what I have to say, man. I don't want to give the game ball to any one person, because the heart and soul came together to make this happen. You couldn't win it without Spencer. You couldn't win it without Rui. You couldn't win it without D'Lo. You couldn't win it without AD. Couldn't win it without Austin. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you could have won it without Taurean. You needed the collective to come together to make this win happen, man. I like what I saw for the most part from everybody. You know what I mean? And that's really what it's all about. So, congratulations to the LA Lakers for making me proud tonight. I haven't said that one time this year, and I don't know if I'll be able to say it again. But this was a game where I can genuinely say I'm proud to be a Laker fan, not just because I love my team, but because this unit tonight showed me they had the art to win. So that's what comes to mind, man. That's what comes to mind. Definitely will not forget this game. BDL 44. Thank you for watching. I'm out.